Okay, a very good day to everyone. I am Lim Wai Xian, the group leader of Group 4. In this video, my teammate and I are going to demonstrate the key functionality of our application system for our mobile assignment 2. So initially, whenever the user launches the app, it will navigate them to the login page with an 3-second animations. On the login page, the user can log in their account using their credentials such as full name and password. However, if the user key in using their incorrect credential or try to log in with a non-existing account, such as John as the full name and password as 123, and the user try to log in their account with an invalid credential, as you can see, an error message will tell the user that the the full name or the password is invalid. Moreover, there will be also an error message under both full name and the password text box to prompt the user to re-enter their full name and the passwords. So let's say if the user try to log in their account with an invalid credential for like 5 times, the application will prompt the user to log in as a guest. At this point, the user will have no other options but to click OK to proceed as a guest. So after clicking the OK buttons, the app will navigate the user to the home page as a guest user. In guest mode, the user has limited access in which they can only view our products in our homepage. Let's say if the user try to access to other page by clicking the bottom navigation button right here, a dialog message will appear to tell the user that currently the user is logged in as a guest, and in order to have full access of the application, the user must log in their account. So at this stage, the user can either continue as a guest by clicking the continue as guest options, or log in their accounts to have full access of the applications. So if the user does not have an account, they can just click on the register link or button below the login buttons to create one. So after clicking the register link or buttons, our app will navigate the user to the step 1 of the registration process. In the first step of the registration process, the user will need to key in their full names, email, password, and phone number. However, let's say the user suddenly remember that he has an account registered. The user can just click on the login link or the buttons below the next buttons to redirect back to the login page. In the first step of the registration process, the user must key in a valid email as well as a valid phone numbers. Let's say if the user key in John as their full name, John as the full emails, 123 as password, and 1234 as the phone number. And let's say if this is what the user key in and try to continue the second step by clicking on the next button, an error message will appear on the email text box to tell the user that the current email was in valid format. So in this case, the user must enter an email with a valid format such as john@gmail.com. For the phone number, the current phone number entered is actually an invalid invalid phone number format. So now let's check if our application will detect if this is an invalid format or not. So after clicking the next button, as you can see, an error message already indicate that the phone number format is invalid. So in this case, the user must enter a phone number format that is, the user must enter a phone number Malaysian formats such as 123 4567 56789. Additionally, during the first step of registration process, our application will also check if the full name entered by the user is assisted or used by other user or not. So let's say if the user enter a full name that is used by other user and try to continue the next step, proceed to the second step by clicking on the next button, an error message will appear on the full name text box to tell the user that the full name is already exists. In this case, the user must enter a full name that is not used by the others. Same goes for the email as well. So let's say if the user enter an email that is already used by the others user and try to proceed to the second step by clicking on the next button, an error message will also pop up on the email text box to tell the user that the email is already exists. So in this case, the users must enter an email that is valid format and also not used by the others user. For example, john@gmail.com. After all the credential entered by the user is valid and fulfill the requirements of the fields, the user can just click on the next button to proceed on the next step. So this is the second step of the registration process, where the user will need to select their gender, select the date of birth, enter their preferred billing address, and also select the states. For the gender, it is set as male as default. But then the user can change the gender by clicking on the text box, and the option with male and female will allow the user to select gender. For the date of birth, by default, it will be set as today's date, and if the user wish to change the date of birth, the user can just click on the calendar icon right here, and a date picker will appear to allow the user to select the date for their date of birth. For the preferred billing address, the user must enter a billing address that is valid and also Malaysian address. For example, if the user enter a non-valid address such as 123 and try to click on the register button, as you can see, an error message will appear to tell the user that the current billing address is invalid. However, if the user try to enter the billing address that is non-Malaysian, such as New York City, and try to click on the register button, an error message will tell the user that the address is not in Malaysian and will prompt the user to enter a valid Malaysian address. In this case, the user can just enter a billing address as Penang, and it is a valid address and also a Malaysian address. For the state, it will set as Penang by default, and the user can select the state by clicking on the text box. And the list of Malaysian states will appear for the user to select the states. So after all the credential is fulfilled and valid, then the user can just click on the register button to proceed. After clicking on the register button, a confirmation form will show to the user to allow the user to check if all the credential is okay for the user or not. So let's say if the user wish to edit the gender, the user can just choose the edit options, and the application will allow the user to edit their gender. So after editing the gender and everything is okay, the user just have to click on the confirm options and the user account will be registered successfully. And now, after the account is successfully registered, our application will navigate the user to our login page. Now the user is able to log in their account using their full names and the password that the user registered just now, such as Sean and 123. After entering the full name and password, the user just have to click on the login button to log in their account. And our application will navigate the user to the home page with a success toast message. One of the additional feature in our app is that the user just have to log in once, meaning that once the user is logged in, every time the user open back the app again, the user doesn't need to log in again. For example, right now, the user already logged in an account and the user close the app and open again. Our application will state the user as logged in as the previous account. Another additional feature is that if the user wish to not showing the animation part whenever the user launch the app, the user can just switch off the animation switch at the top left here to turn off the animation whenever the app is launched. So now let's check if the animation is already turned off by closing out the app and open back the app again. As you can see, there is no any animations appear when the app is launched. So if the user wish to open back the animation, the user just have to turn on the animation switch right here. And when the user close the app and turn on the app again, there will be an animation back whenever the app is launched again. And that's all for me. And I'll pass the presentation to Her Qi to continue on. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Wai Xian. Good day, everyone. My name is Chun Her Qi, and now I will talk about the homepage first. Here, the user is able to view the list of products, and if the user wishes to view more about the product or add the product to the cart, they just have to select the specific product, such as door-to-door service. And they will be redirected to the page that will show all the details related to the selected product, and the users can view the product price and the add to cart button here. If the user wishes to add this selected product to the cart, they just have to click on this button, and a toast message will indicate that the selected product is added to the cart successfully. Now let's add a few more products to the cart. Now, if the user wishes to view their products that is added to the cart, they just have to select the cart button here, and they will be redirected to the cart page where the list here will show all the added products by the user. If the user wishes to delete a specific product, they just have to click on this delete icon here, and a toast message will be shown that it is removed from the cart successfully, and the list of the product will be updated as well. Now let's say if the user wishes to check out the products, they just have to click on the checkout button here, and a toast message will be shown that it is checked out successfully, and the user will be redirected back to the home page. Now moving on to the analytics page. Here, it will show all the products that is purchased from the user, and it will display in the pie chart and the product list here. The product list here will show the product items that is being purchased along with their salesman. And the product list with the highest product sales will be labeled as the hot item, which can be shown here. Now let's say the user wishes to view the weekly analytics. They just have to select the weekly filter here. And here we can see that a default pie chart and a product list will be shown at first based on the current year, month, and the current week. If the user wishes to see the analytics based on a different date, they can select a specific year and month by selecting on this calendar icon. Let's say the user wishes to view data from December of 2023, and after that, the users can select the number of a week to display the analytics data, which is from week 1 until week 4. Here, since that there is no product data available after the filtering, an empty state design will be shown. And if the user selects a year and month, and the number of a week that have a product data available, the pie chart and the product list here will be updated. And that is all from me. And now I would like to pass to Chin Hong to continue on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Her Qi. And hi, I am Lim Chin Hong, and I will continue to introduce the remaining functionality of the app. First, let me introduce the tracker page. Okay, in this tracker page, we can see that this page has a map view with a location icon on it. So if the user had been checked out any product before, then this page will show the address of the user that used to check out the product, such as this. So if we click on the location icon, we're able to see more detail about the location. Now let us proceed to another page, which is the profile page. This page will show the user information such as register date, the phone number, the preferred bill address, and the email. So in this page, the user able to update the preferred billing address by clicking on this edit icon. So if we click on this, the yellow block will pop up and to tell the user that currently is able to edit. So in this update billing address, we have applied 3 validation for it, as it's same to the register page of the billing address. The first validation is check for the empty, like how this show. If I click on it, it will say that new address cannot be empty. The next validation is invalid address, such as if I enter 123 and I click, it will say that it's invalid address. And the third validation is the address is only able to access for the Malaysia location. So if I put other country location such as New York, it will say that this address is not in Malaysia and provide a valid Malaysia address. So for example, I will put Penang here. Okay, so you can see that the billing address is successfully updated. Other than updating billing address, in this page, user also able to view the order history. So now we can see 2 items within the order history which have been checked out by Her Qi just now. So the order history item will show the product name, the product category, the quantity and the order date, same to the order ID. So we also apply a search view so that the user able to search for desired item when the order history item is a lot. Let me demonstrate for you. If I search for maybe setup, you can see that just now the another item without the setup word will disappear. So if now I enter a invalid name such as I love, then it will show empty because I love is not exist in any product name. So the last functionality of this page is the logout button. If the user click on this logout button, it will navigate the user to the login page. And like how just now the Wai Xian demonstrate that the auto login function. So after we log out, the auto login function will not be applied anymore. That's all from us. Thank you for listening and watching.